There's something about sport bikes that seem to always capture the imagination of motorcycle enthusiasts. I'm not sure if it's the performance, the sound, maybe the looks, or a combination of all three. Nonetheless, when it comes to the iconic looks and that beautiful exhaust note, there's not many bikes that come close to the MV Agusta F3. At a glance, the F3 675 that we have here is kind of intimidating. Not because of its size, because it is rather small and compact, but because when you look at it, you know the bike means business. The design is timeless and brings you back to the racing heritage of MV Agusta. It is absolutely gorgeous. It really does embody the tagline motorcycle art. When you swing a leg over the bike, it's as if it's asking you, are you ready for me? Can you handle this? Now, the position, you already feel the strain on your back, the weight on your wrist as you grab the handlebars. The foot pegs are rear set and high. This bike absolutely means business, especially on the track. But what's it like on the streets? Let's find out in this episode of Beyond the Ride. The bike is powered by a 675cc inline 3-cylinder dual overhead cam engine that produces a whopping 128 horsepower at 14,500 RPM and 71 Nm of torque at 10,900 RPM. The 675 triple found in this bike is the most powerful production 675cc inline 3-cylinder engine in the world. It is equipped with 4 riding modes and 8 levels of traction control adjustability. It's got a 43mm inverted fork with preload and rebound adjustability, and a ZF monoshock featuring preload and rebound adjustability as well. Stopping power comes from dual 320mm discs with 4 piston Brembo calipers at the front, and a single 220mm disc single piston caliper at the back. The ABS is programmable and can be switched off for track use. This bike has one of the most sophisticated electronic rider aids in the market. The fuel capacity is 16 liters, which is pretty decent for a sport bike. But the fuel consumption, let's just say it's not very good. 14 kilometers per liter. Some cars are better than that. MV Agusta couldn't make an ugly bike even if they tried. The steel trellis frame, single-sided swing arm, triple exhaust, quite similar to other MV Agustas like the Brutale 800 that we had here on MotoDeal. And this bike made it to the most beautiful 600 in the world list, and I'm not going to argue with that. The seat height is 802 millimeters. I am 5'6" for reference, and that is the situation. Actually not bad, quite normal for a sport bike. Now, let's start up and do a quick sound test. Alright, the seating position of the bike, I gotta say, not the most comfortable. It is a sport bike, and that's kind of what it's supposed to feel like. The seat is pretty stiff. I wish it had a little bit more comfort, but you know, when you're on the track, you kind of are not on the seat all the time. You kind of move around a lot, especially when you're going for the corners. It is typical for a sport bike, and not exactly my favorite position to be in when I'm riding around in a motorcycle. When you're stuck in traffic, you will feel the heat, and if it's really bad, especially how Manila traffic can be at times, it can get rather uncomfortable. Even if you're used to hot bikes,
For some reason, this one kind of just feels like it's steaming up your legs. I'll say though, it is a very good looking bike. I mean, the term tiis ganda, perfect. It is what it is. You look cool riding the bike. Honestly, you really do feel cool too. But it comes at a price. The bike is filled with riding tech. It even has a lap timer, so it is perfect for the track. That's what it's set up for. The traction control works really well. In fact, one of us was able to test it out, and I won't say what he did to test it out, but he did manage to, let's just say, benefit from the traction control of the bike. The front brakes bite really well, and it's perfect. It is what it's supposed to be. The rear brakes could be a little bit better in my opinion. Maybe it's just the way the bike was set up. Maybe it's starting to fade a little bit, but I just wish the rear brakes were a little bit stronger than what it is. Just like the Brutale we had last year, this bike doesn't have a fuel gauge. Come on, MV Agusta, you can do better than that. Why not put a fuel gauge? Especially because this bike is a gas guzzler. I would like to know how much fuel I have left in the tank riding around in this bike. But it is very race oriented. It is meant for the track, so much so that it actually comes with a lap timer. I mean, that right there tells you this bike belongs on the racetrack. The handling is absolutely superb. It's sublime. It's so flickable. In fact, the bike, it's kind of like the devil on your shoulder telling you, more, 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 give me more. You can do more than that. So you have to kind of respect it, and you kind of have to slow down and you know, control yourself. Otherwise, it can get you in trouble. And when I say get you in trouble, in first gear, you can go over 100 kilometers per hour. So just imagine what it can do throughout the rev range. The engine is quite sensitive. It does easily stall if you're not smooth on the throttle and with the clutch. So you have to control it, you have to make timpla properly, otherwise this thing will stall on you. So it might need a little bit of getting used to riding this thing around. I gotta say though, when you're out on the open road and you're going at speed, ooh, it feels fantastic. It's so fun. I don't understand why there's rear foot pegs. I don't get it. I mean, it's there and there is a rear seat, but I would never use that on this bike. It just doesn't feel comfortable with one person. What more two? Okay, I've been riding the bike for about 40 minutes or so, and I am getting tired. Plus, it's making me want to do stupid things. Maybe I should call it a day and wrap up the video.
So, in conclusion, it is a great motorcycle. However, it is a purpose-built machine. I know there's people out there who ride sport bikes on the daily, but I just can't do it. However, if you want something that's gonna make you stand out from the crowd, something with a lot of technology, with great history, then perhaps the price tag of 1.1 million Philippine pesos could be worth it for you. That's the price of some of the leader sport bikes from the Japanese Big Four. But it is a great motorcycle. For more information about this bike and other MCs out there, log on to www.motodeal.com.ph. This has been Jinno Rufino. Hope you guys enjoyed going beyond the ride.